Hello everyone, welcome to Peach on Earth Tarot. Today I'm going to be doing a reading for Virgo, mid-month November. A few things before I get started. I do offer personal readings. You can find the information for that down below or in the About Me section here on my YouTube page. You can follow me on Instagram and Facebook at Peach on Earth Tarot, both websites. And then the last thing I want to mention is that I do know that I tend to talk rather slowly in my readings, and if that is something that bothers you, you can go ahead and hit the three little dots and it'll give you an option for playback speed. And I know that when I watch my videos back, it helps to put them at 1.25 or 1.5. So if that bothers you that I talk slowly or that the cards sometimes take a long time to come out because I do shuffle to get the cards instead of just pulling them. So if that bothers you, you can go ahead and increase the playback speed, okay? So Virgo, when I was getting into your energy, the messages that I was getting was about synchronicities. So maybe you are seeing a lot of synchronicities right now. Things that happen that logic tells you is coincidence, which Virgos are quite logical, okay? So it says logic is telling you that they're coincidences, but they are signs and guides. Listen to where you are being directed. It says, does something stand out? Wait, does something you thought... Oh, okay, no. Sorry, I'm actually just going to read what they wrote because I channel the message through writing. So, does something you thought about 2 days ago come into your reality suddenly? Are numbers showing themselves to you? Are animals drawing your eye to them as if they have a message for you? Songs are another way, or art in general. And it says the animals and the numbers and all the synchronicities, they have messages for you. What is your first thought when you notice the animal or number or song or whatever? What were you thinking right before? Pay attention to your surroundings. Pay attention to your surroundings because that's where the synchronicities happen, is in your surroundings, okay? Because I know for me personally that I tend to shut off like my sense of sight a lot because I do see a lot of synchronicities, and I think that sometimes they can be a little overwhelming, so I can tend to shut that down. Just out of self-preservation. Sometimes it can be really exhausting, but you're really being called to pay attention to your surroundings right now, okay, Virgo? To the things that the universe is trying to speak to you through different avenues. So, so mine is like visual, which is what, clairvoyance or something? Oh no, I don't know. But then my sense of touch is also like one of those things that's very sensitive. So like if I touch a person, I can easily pick up their energy. So I have spent my whole life not really engaging in a lot of physical touch because it is so overwhelming, okay? So whatever it is for you, sound, sight, smell, taste, visuals, whatever it is for you that's can be a little overwhelming, you're being called to like really pay attention right now, okay? So let's go ahead and get one or two archetype cards for Virgo. Okay, now this card has been coming out a lot. This Pioneer card. So we have Rebel. Rebel came out once before too. I don't know for what energy or for what sign, zodiac sign, but with the Martyr on the bottom, addiction to self-pity, that can be that if you feel overwhelmed a lot, it's like, oh, woe is me type of thing, like, oh, why does this have to be my reality? Why do I have to do this? Why do I have to feel like this? But you're being asked to embrace it. So the light attribute, learning to transcend nature of service to oneself or a cause. Learning to transcend nature of service to oneself or a cause. So it's like the way that you go about something. So yeah, it's like almost like if you've shut down senses, you need to turn them back on. You're being called to turn your senses back on because when you shut them down, that's like self-preservation, but it's like almost like out of pity for yourself. But you need to learn how to embrace it and utilize it and turn it into good. Okay, so let's see here. Rebel, shadow attributes: rejects legitimate authority out of anger, rebels out of peer pressure or fashion. When I read the words rejects legitimate authority, I honestly thought about shutting down the senses in order to not see our messages from the universe. It's almost like you just, because they're gifts, right? Synchronicities are gifts. But when we deny them, that's rebelling against our true nature. Light attributes, challenges authority. I just got super lightheaded. Oh my. That usually means we're on point, but it's hard to transmute. That's an example here, right? Where it's really hard for me to be lightheaded right now, but it's for the greater good. It's a sign that the message that I'm giving you is the right message. So I have to work through it. I have to learn how to deal with it. And it's almost like as soon as I acknowledged it, acknowledged the meaning of it, it stopped. So Virgo, let's start paying attention, okay? Light attributes, challenges authority to affect social change, rejects spiritual systems that do not serve inner needs. Oh my gosh. Hang on. That to me almost sounds like part of the shadow attribute, even though it's in the light attribute. It's pointing out to me that it's like you're rejecting your spiritual nature in order to serve yourself. That's what it feels like. You're rejecting your spiritual gifts. So pioneer, it's utilizing. It's asking you to stop rebelling and start utilizing. Okay? So shadow attributes. Compulsive need to keep moving on. Light attribute, which when we get synchronicities, sometimes that's what we do when we shut down. It's like we just see it and move on from it and don't think about it because it's just too much to think about. Light attribute, passion for doing and creating what has not been done before. So, I wish I knew what signs these came up for, but I don't. If you feel like going through and looking, you can, but you don't have to. But, to me, this is a light bulb. And on this light bulb, there's this light emanating from it, that electricity, right? And the electricity is uncomfortable. That's that sense of feeling those synchronicities, seeing the synchronicities. It can be really uncomfortable and a little scary sometimes. But inside, you have this heart, right? So it's like you have to go through what's uncomfortable to uncover your true, calling or your true nature, whatever. You have to go through what's uncomfortable in order to find your truth. And it's something that's going to make you stand out, this rebel energy, because that is the positive aspect of a rebel is, right now you're rebelling against your gifts, from the universe. And I think when we embrace them, the rebel energy turns into we look like rebels to the outsiders, the people outside looking in, where they're seeing, they see this electricity, and electricity can be a little chaotic and scary, right? When you think about someone being electrocuted, it can be really, really intense. But you're inside it, so you're safe from the electricity, but from the outside looking in, it's scary. And so that's how you've been looking at it. But then once you're inside, the other people that are in your life might look at you like that it's a little scary, right? They want you to stay where you are. People who aren't growing or whatnot. They want people to stay right where they are because that's where they feel safe. But you're needing to really embrace this, okay? So let's go ahead and get the message for Virgo mid-month November, please. What's the message for Virgo mid-month November regarding this rebel pioneer, please? I feel like maybe these cards even came out together. I don't know. I wish I remembered the readings better, but I don't. It's almost like I just channel them and like as soon as I'm done, they're gone almost. Sometimes not, but for the most part, they do just leave my brain. Because it's not actually like me giving the message, if that makes sense. Okay. What is the energy for this rebel pioneer for Virgo mid-month November, please? What is the message? What is the message, please? The wheel, change, and the Nine of Discs is on the bottom. Oh, here, let's make this. And it's almost like this is a wheel too, here. It's a wheel. And the Nine of Discs is all about abundance and like self-sufficiency. And I'm getting that that's a very Virgo energy because, you know, the 9 in the major arcana represents the Hermit, and Hermit is the Virgo card, and the major arcana, it represents Virgo energy. And then just the self-sufficiency, that's a very Virgo energy to me. I feel like Virgos are often very independent people. But it's almost like I don't know if maybe you've recently become independent because this wheel of change here. It's almost like you've rebelled against something. It's almost like leaving behind those people that view this as scary, right? But it doesn't even have to be the people. I'm just getting that because the Nine of Discs is a really independent energy. And do you know how I said in the beginning about animals having messages for you? Like your eyes are naturally drawn to them because of, like, they're calling you almost. I'm seeing these two animals here, this hawk or eagle or whatever it is, and then the snake. So maybe you're seeing a lot of those animals recently. But I am seeing that, and they're causing the wheel to turn. They're causing change within you. It's like awakening you. That's that wheel turning. It's like a crank. I'm seeing a crank. Like, if you've ever watched Lost, the TV show Lost, there is this on the island that they're inhabiting. There's this wheel that needs cranked, but it's like frozen over. It has like ice over it, and it's just completely frozen, and it's very difficult to get to the wheel. There's like this magnetic force and like blah 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 and all this stuff. It's very, very difficult to get to the wheel to crank it. But in the show, he goes in and he strains really hard. This character named Benjamin goes in and he strains really hard and he starts turning the wheel. And that's what I'm sensing here. It's like your wheel, you've been stuck for so long, you've shut down your senses for so long that it's like everything's frozen over. And I'm just seeing it like finally start to like crank and like turn. And it's changing things. Because that's what's happening when he's cranking the wheel. It's changing. I think, it's been a while since I've watched it, but I think it's changing. Like, it changes the, like the island jumps. like longitude, latitude. What the coordinates? So it's like changing the coordinates. So it's like really, really something is changing here. You're releasing all of that. Okay, let's keep going. 1515. I just saw 1515. I don't know. That's 66. What else for Virgo, please? Is there anything else for Virgo, please? Ooh, okay. So we have the Queen of Swords on the bottom. Clarity. The Chariot, movement. Yeah, it's like you're unfreezing everything. You're starting to crank the wheel, and then, but what's interesting is this. It's like you're not literally moving, because these sphinxes are laying down. They're not actually moving. They're staying in place. But there's metaphorical movement. Well, maybe actual movement, because we've got that Ace of Wands too, but to me, this Ace of Wands in particular, I keep seeing it as a flute. I don't know why I keep seeing it as flute, just the way the hand is on this wand, it makes it look like a flute. But it's the phoenix rising from the ashes. This is the phoenix, right? It's on fire. It's going from like ice to fire. The yin and the yang, right? With the light and the dark. It's that melting of the ice. Yeah, it's like there's something that's coming to light that is melting the ice. It's the truth. With this Queen of Swords on the bottom, she has this sword of truth, and she's standing up. She's not sitting in her throne, even though this Chariot is at a standstill. It's almost like this is what I'm saying, you guys, that this Chariot has come and is face to face with this Queen of Swords. And the Sphinxes have finally, they're able to rest, because like the movement is done. And it's like almost like a judgment, like justice energy. Oh my gosh. That's so crazy, because, Justice card represents Libra. And when I was channeling before I started the reading, when I was getting the message about synchronicities, I kept hearing Libra. So, and I just totally forgot about that until now. And so it's almost like your movement is being like judged. And what I love though is that she's standing up. She's not sitting down, because the kings are always sitting down. They're ruling. They're from their castle. And the queens do as well. They have the thrones as well. But and you think about masculine energy is more about action, but I honestly see the queens as like taking the thoughts and ideas. Like the kings understand the thoughts, but they don't necessarily act all the time. The queens understand and they act. And so it's like they're enacting truth. They're enacting truth, and it's like setting you free. Now I'm going to get clarification with the Morgan Greer Tarot for each of these. So it's like you're going for your judgment day, your justice. You're seeking your justice for like finally getting unstuck. You've been so stuck in something, and you're finally free. You've moved forward, and you're getting your judgment, your justice. Okay, what's this Wheel of Fortune for Virgo? Can you clarify the Wheel of Fortune for Virgo, please? Wheel of Fortune for Virgo. Clarify the Wheel of Fortune for Virgo, please. The Moon. And Justice is on the bottom. Okay, the Moon. So I honestly feel like you were just in confusion. Before, when everything was frozen over, you were just so confused, because that's what the Moon represents. It can represent not understanding our emotional aspects. And that is kind of a Virgo thing, because they do tend to be a little bit more logical. But I'm seeing the Cancerian energy, so maybe something to do with Cancer. I don't know. But anyway, it's like you were just stuck in this state of confusion, and the universe has been working really, really hard to wake you up with those synchronicities. It's like it was like they were breaking the ice, right? They were like kind of breaking the ice of you being stuck, and then you started cranking the wheel. Like, even though you were still a little bit confused and you weren't really quite sure why you needed to change, you started cranking the wheel because you were there. The ice was melting, the ice was shattering, and you started changing, okay? Let's clarify this Chariot, please. The Chariot, please, for Virgo, mid-month November. Clarify the Chariot for Virgo, mid-month November, please. Judgment. I just said Judgment Day. And then the Knight of Pentacles, Virgo. I mean, it can be Virgo, Taurus, Capricorn, but you are a pentacle energy. Like, that's earth energy. You're getting your judgment. With that Queen of Swords, that's exactly what I said. It felt like you were reaching your judgment day. Ace of Wands for Virgo, please. And Judgment Day, for those of you that don't know what I mean by that, Judgment Day is, you show up and it's like, have you been leading? Have you been acting with intention? It's almost like the best way to describe it is like the biblical sense of like Judgment Day, oh my gosh, why can I not think of what it's called? You know what I'm talking about. I can't think of the word for some reason. And that's going to drive me crazy, but oh well. But it's like, do you get to ascend or do you not get to ascend? But you've done the work, even if it's just recently, your heart is in the right place. You're wanting to ascend. You're wanting to be better. You're wanting to pay more attention and to listen to what the universe has to say to you, and then enact it. Oops. Because, geez, I didn't say what I was doing yet, but I do want to point out, like, the Nine of Cups came out with the Three of Swords on the bottom, so it's like wish fulfillment about something that was like, that really hurt you before. Like, you're moving forward with it, but I'm not going to take it because I wasn't ready. I just want to point that out. So let's clarify this Ace of Wands. It's like taking your judgment and enacting it into the world. Okay? Like, you finally received justice on something that was like keeping you stuck in place, and now you're enacting it into the world. I love this. Okay, so we have the Six of Wands on the bottom, which is victory. That's like you're winning, okay? And then we have the Chariot, which we have the Chariot here, so that's another Chariot. And then the Three of Wands. Now, the Three of Wands, again, it's almost like these two cards are talking to each other, like they're facing one another. He's looking at this Chariot coming in because the Chariot is all about movement. These are horses and they're actually moving, where these ones are laying down. So it's almost like you got the justice, the judgment, and then you were like able to move forward, and it's how you enact it into the world. And then whatever it is, there's something, because the Three of Wands is about waiting for our ships to come in. So there's something waiting for you. It's waiting, but it's victory, but I don't know what it is that's waiting for you. But I think there's something calling you in. It's whatever it is that caused this ice to break and for this forward movement and the confusion to clear. You know what it is. And that's like the part about paying attention to the way that the universe speaks to us, right? Because I don't know in what way you need to enact your abilities into the world. You're the only one that knows, because it's the way that the universe speaks to you, whether it be through animals, whether it be through tarot cards, whether it be through music, whether it be through numbers, whatever it is. It could be through a relationship, through love. whatever it is, excuse me, only you'll know. It's however the universe is calling to you, is what you're supposed to be enacting into the world. So it's like if animals speak to you, maybe you're supposed to be doing something with animals. Like maybe you're supposed to be a vet or something like that. But that's what I'm being told here. Now we're going to get some advice for you guys. What is the advice for Virgo? How do they enact these gifts into the world? What is the advice for Virgo? What is the advice for Virgo? What is the advice for Virgo, please, for mid-month November? Can I have one card for Virgo, please? Can I have one card for Virgo, please? No, it's gone. There's one that was acting funny and I wanted to look at it, but it went back in and didn't show itself to me, so not the one. Okay, one card for Virgo. What is the advice for Virgo mid-month November, please, and thank you. What is the advice for Virgo, please? It's like they keep acting like they want to come out, but they don't. But they're wanting to find the exact right message for you, I can tell. What is the advice for Virgo, please? Okay, Sacred Revolution. Yes. Because you guys are revolutionizing whatever it is that is coming to you. It's like you guys are revolutionizing. And then look, authentic voice on the bottom. That's like you're finally, it's like you're feeling safe to rebel against whatever was in your past. And then just like start living in your true voice with this pioneer energy. I love that. So we have Sacred Revolution. I'm noticing, 46 breaks down to a 10, which we do have the wheel here. Look, and there's another 10, and then 2 10s. Because 7 and 3 is 10. But anyway, let's see here, 46. Hang on. I don't know why I feel the need. This isn't for the card, but I just opened the page I opened up to had something written in the margins that says everything always works out. Excuse me. Everything always works out in the end. So I feel like that was something I was supposed to share with you guys. So 46. Sacred Revolution, Goddess Kali and Black Obsidian. We bring you the empowerment of Sacred Revolution. Revolution comes when a cycle, Wheel of Fortune, of authority or power is ending. It has become inadequate for the task of leadership now required, and a new order must be established in its place. It is not, oh my gosh, it's like changing coordinates, right? Like, yeah. It is not simply a chapter within a book drawing to a close, but an entirely new book. This is so beautiful. Perhaps an entirely new genre. Like, the life that you're being called, like, beckoned to could be totally different. And that's why it's like you feel like you're rebelling against who you were or who you're expected to be. You feel like you're rebelling, but you're actually a pioneer, okay? Okay. Opening up according to divine will unfolding. In such cases, subtle change is not going to cut it. You need radical action to bring about the new order. That new order may be in your world or in your own being. When revolution is sacred, the new order will be that which allows you to become more of yourself to successfully attain your spiritual goals. This is interesting. It says Kali is called on in times of war when demons seem to be getting the upper hand. So it's almost like you were feeling so just like stuck, right? And she's being called upon to break this ice. It almost feels like she's the one coming in and like shattering the ice so you can change. I love it. So maybe do some research about her. It's Kali. I guess you can see it right here. So I'm going to do this affirmation. Hang on. Healing process. Where are we at time-wise? 30 minutes. Okay, so it says, I choose of my own free will through this and any lifetime and through all layers of my entire being to release any fearful experience or associated belief system connected to de-establishing structures, political and spiritual revolution, changing of the guard or dethroning. I choose to purge this now on all levels, literal and symbolic. I even said something about symbolism earlier. Through divine empowerment and unconditional love, so be it. I'm going to read that one more time because I feel like I kind of jumbled some of the words. I choose of my own free will through this and any lifetime and through all layers of my entire being to release any fearful experience or associated belief system connected to de-establishing structures, political and spiritual revolution, changing of the guard or dethroning. I choose to purge this now on all levels, literal and symbolic. Through divine empowerment and unconditional love, so be it. So I'm going to read it one more time just because 3131 when I said that. Just because 3 is like that number of manifestation. Okay? I choose of my own free will through this and any lifetime and through all layers of my entire being to release any fearful experience or associated belief system connected to de-establishing structures, political and spiritual revolution, changing of the guard, or dethroning. I choose to purge this now on all levels, literal and symbolic, through divine empowerment and unconditional love, so be it. Okay, Virgo, this has been your reading. I hope that was helpful. I hope that you find whatever it is that you're needing to find, that the universe is asking you to find. If this resonated, you can like, comment, share, subscribe. I thank you for being here. I thank any of your guides that were present, any of my guides that were present from the bottom of my heart. Thank you so much, and I'll see you soon. Bye.